This video is about the Texas Education Agency's special education complaints process. Complaining might seem like a strange topic, but it's an important one because as the parent or guardian of a student receiving special education services, you have rights. And one of those rights is being able to make a complaint. In fact, anyone can make a complaint if they believe that a school district, the TEA, or some other public education agency hasn't followed the rules when it comes to a student receiving special education services. We call anyone who exercises this right a complainant. You can make a complaint if you think that a state or federal special education requirement hasn't been followed, and you can make it on behalf of one student or multiple students. But you do have to state specifically, in writing, what you believe happened. You have to be clear about the problem, and you have to give facts to back your concern. Here's an example. The school district didn't give my child his speech services. The IEP said my son would receive 30 minutes of speech per week. The speech therapist was not at school for all of March. That's a simple complaint, but you can hear that it meets the criteria. There is a clear problem that the child didn't receive the speech therapy that is required by his Individualized Education Program, or IEP. And there are facts. The principal said that the speech teacher was not at school for a month because he was sick, and the student didn't get his speech services. You can find more examples and more information by clicking the button below. This will take you to the TEA's Special Education Dispute Resolution Handbook. It is divided into 4 parts. The third part is about special education complaints. You can find examples of complaints in this part. While you can make a complaint if you believe that a service was withheld or a rule wasn't followed, there are some topics the complaint process doesn't handle. These include allegations related to civil rights, personnel issues or assignments, general education matters, teaching methods, and allegations related to child abuse or neglect. If you do file a complaint on any of these topics through TEA's complaints process, you will receive a letter closing the complaint with TEA and giving you directions who to contact instead where applicable. Here is some guidance for making a special education complaint. First, it must be in writing and must include your signature and your contact information. Second, it must address a problem that happened no more than 1 calendar year from the date that TEA receives the complaint. For example, if you want to make a complaint about something you believe happened September 10, 2020, you must make sure that the complaint is received by TEA by September 10, 2021. If the complaint is for a single student, must also include specific information about the student, including their name and address, and the name of their school. As we described earlier, the complaint must detail a specific problem, and it must have facts to back up your concern. Dates, places, and clear descriptions are all important. If the complaint doesn't include all of this, it won't be considered complete and TEA won't be able to investigate. This is a lot of information. You can learn more in the Dispute Resolution Handbook. After you make a complaint, TEA will investigate. Most of the time, TEA must complete the investigation and provide a written decision within 60 days, starting on the first business day after receiving the complaint. If you send your complaint on a Friday and it arrives in the mail on Wednesday, the 60 days starts Thursday. TEA can extend the 60-day timeline on a case-by-case basis. The timeline can also be extended if the complainant and the public agency agree to extend it in order to try to resolve the complaint themselves. TEA can also expedite the 60-day timeline on a case-by-case basis. Once the TEA has completed its investigation, it will email the report to the public agency that the report was filed about. TEA will also email you the report if you have the educational right to receive a copy. This report will explain the decision, including whether the public agency followed specific education requirements. If the public agency didn't follow requirements, the report will also lay out the steps it must take to correct the problem. We hope you'll never find yourself in a position to make a special education complaint. But if you do, this video and the Dispute Resolution Handbook provide you with all the information you need.